How much do you express who you really, really, really are? How authentically can you just be too much of your true self? Do you let your alien be shown? Do you allow yourself to be as loud as you want to be? Or even to not be so happy if you're not, and just be, and not have to say anything if you don't want to say anything? Over time, I've really observed through the spiritual awakening process, through the journey to mastery, that a measure of how awakened and masterful you are and leaderful you are is how much you allow yourself to be who you truly are and what you're truly feeling in every single moment, without the need to contort or mask or put on a show for any reason. And it's interesting because it's tricky now. It can be tricky because we're seeing shadow ban happen. Like, even for myself, I'm like, well, can I actually say that? Because if I say it, is it going to go down on the algorithm? And remember, I mentioned to you in yesterday's transmission how when I wrote the post about sexual healing, I wrote SEGZ, S-E-G-Z. But then in yesterday's transmission, I just decided to make the title like, let's talk about sex. And guess what? I got a notification. I got a notification on Facebook that it's not going to be monetized because it doesn't follow the guidelines. So there has been a suppression of freedom of speech in the US, in the world in general, right? We've seen people get canceled. We've seen people get, I know even today I was talking to some people and they were sharing how they got unfollowed. Even people in their family don't follow them anymore because of their political views. People weren't invited to their cousin's wedding or their niece's wedding because of their views. And so people are being judged and shunned and canceled when they're expressing who they truly are. And that makes me so sad. Like, imagine being who you truly are and people being like, cancel, unsubscribe, nope, you're uninvited. Diversity is what is the beauty of humanity. And you were born exactly as you are, with your unique gifts and ways of being. And the truth is, your ideal clients want you at your fullest expression. And that's actually the path to getting to your next level, is through even more authentic self-expression. Like, what's the thing you really want to say but you haven't been saying? I know for me, there's some topics that I haven't yet posted. I literally got the downloads for them in like March or April. Some of them are around sensitive topics, like, right now I haven't seen it as much, but I feel like for a while the whole like narcissist empath thing was like super hot, and like everyone was using that word like narcissist all over the place and putting a lot of blame. And I got this whole download about like entities being involved with narcissism and that kind of dynamic between the empath. And so I haven't talked about, let's say on my page, as much like black magic and entities and how all of these things can act as blocks for us to reach higher levels of success in love, life, and business. And so I've just been like waiting for the right moment, but it's like, now is the right moment. Like, even as I'm sharing this transmission, I'm like, Nikki Star, you have to post that stuff. Like, so many things about entities and black magic and all this more like witchy stuff. That's the part, let's say, that I'm fully expressed. Like, all my clients see that, but I don't bring that onto my social media, for example. But it's like, that's where my clients are coming from, And so the more you show people who you truly are, and it is like coming out of a shell in a cocoon. Like, I remember, like, when I was coming out of my spiritual closet, it was a slow process. And I remember the first post I ever wrote about being the star being. Like, I remember even my family was like, Nikki Star, people are going to think you're so weird. But you know what? So many more clients self-identified as like, oh, she's my person. Because they too feel that star being aspect within themselves. And then the clients who don't identify like that, they love that side because I activate them in different ways like no other coach, healer, mentor, activator has. So by owning all the parts of yourself, it's like you're not hiding anymore. And anywhere that you hide, you're blocking what the universe wants to send to you. You're blocking the people who are meant to find you and love you, even if it's a friend, if it is work related, whether it's a new job, a new opportunity, maybe someone's looking for a speaker they're looking for you, but the true you, not the you that's contorted to be liked, not the you that's seeking approval. We don't need approval from anyone at all, right? When we're like fully expressed, we become actually magnetic. And the thing we were most scared to reveal is the very thing that sets us free and brings us to our next level. And so sometimes people are like, well, how? Like, how do I become so unapologetically self-expressed? And I feel that comes from incarnating more into your body. So this is a lot of the energetic work that I do. It's clearing and disconnecting from collective consciousness belief systems. It's also clearing the cords and energetic enmeshments between you, your family, even the people you love. It's really like breaking those ties. It's also putting yourself out there, being brave, being confident, and just deciding to do it. Just deciding to reveal yourself. It kind of reminds me of, when I work with clients around relationships and belovedship, I often talk about loving like it's the first time. So if you could show up like it's the first time, you're not going to get judged, like no one even knows anything about you. When you show up in that fresh energy, like, here I am. It's like, imagine you go to a party. If you don't be who you really are, like the people you meet and you're going to talk to, it's not going to vibe. You're not going to attract in your people. To attract in your people, the people who are meant to be in your life, who like love you. You know that saying, like, love me or leave me? You'd rather have people in your life who are like, I friggin' love you. All of your crazy, all of your weirdness, you want the people who are going to love that. And the only way you can find them is by being that. And the fascinating thing about the miracle of life is you were created as a piece of the mosaic of humanity. And by not being your truest self, you are creating a distortion in the field. So you're blocking all that's meant to come on your path. Your divine blueprint that you incarnated with is based upon you being you. So anywhere you're not being you, because you're like, oh yeah, maybe that's working for that person. I'm going to try that on. Oh yeah, that's working for that person. Let me try that. Even success in business, I feel, is so linked to your unique makeup, especially if you're an entrepreneur or solopreneur and a lot of your brand or your business is connected to you. I feel for you to have that wild, radical success, you have to do it your way. You have to root it in what's unique to your identity and your truth. And so even yesterday, as I was sharing about the awakening of the chakras with the sexual energy, I feel like that's the same path that's taken when we spiritually awaken. Because most humans, before we awaken spiritually, were more in the lower chakras. And then over time, it's like the energy moves upward. And so your authentic expression is in your throat. So it starts to climb that spiritual energy. And when it gets to the throat, it starts to unlock more of who you are. It's not just about communication here, it's about expression. And so part of that expression is like, I know I used to show up a lot, especially for lives or whatever, and be like, hi, and be like in this super high energy that wasn't always authentic to the moment. Whereas sometimes you're just, this is how I am. Like, I don't have to be like all the time, right? Because that's like an inauthenticity that's felt. Like if you're like, yeah, I'm really good, but you're like, ugh, today's a crap day, right? But that's the truth. The authenticity is what's magnetic. It's being what you actually feel in the moment that's magnetic versus being like, I'm so amazing when you're not. So where have you caught yourself? Thank you. Hello. I'm seeing some of you comment as you're coming on. So where right now are you not being fully authentic in your expression? If you have a business, could it be in some of your offers, in the way you're communicating and the things you're posting? So you might find you're doing that when there's like certain trends. For example, like I've had clients who, especially when Reels came out, people were dancing on Reels. They were like dancing all around. And they're like, that's not me. And it wasn't translating because it wasn't authentic to them. But then when they found their way, whether it was mostly through talking or just showing clips throughout the day and doing a voiceover, for example, like there's so many ways to express yourself. Even like, how do you write your copy? Like, how do you post on social media? Is it like how you authentically speak in the world? That's ideal. Now, we also have different personalities. And so I know for me, that's why I call myself multi-dimensional activator. Because there's the moments when I'm in that deep wisdom channeling space. And then there's that moment where I'm just being my sassy, frolicking Latina that's dancing around in her bathing suit on the beach, right? And so even now today, like today I'm PMSing, my energy's a bit lower. I'm not trying to show up to this call like in a different energy that I am. No, I'm just going to be authentic because that's where you build trust. When you're truly yourself, you build trust. People trust you. They're not like, that person seems kind of fake or there's something kind of off. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. And so why I'm having these lives. So I had 2. We talked about power. Day 1, we talked about sex. Day 2. Today is day 3. We're talking about authentic expression. Tomorrow we're going to talk about money. I may do a 5th day. It depends when my period comes because I like to take the first day off. I think that's best well-being practice for a woman because we lose our life force and our chi through our menstrual blood. So it's best to rest on your first day. Go inward, meditate, take care of you. Why? Because then it gives you energy at other times of the month when you can be fully on. And so it's fascinating when you learn these, I wouldn't say tricks, but you really learn yourself as a woman. And as you know, I have my women's program coming up on 11/11. And so these lives are in celebration for any women who are wanting to go to your next level in love, life, and business. And you're interested in the 3D and the 5D way. So you're interested in the energetics and the soul and the spirit work, because that's a lot of what my specialty is. So, and then also I have my 1-to-1 that I'm enrolling, so I don't leave the men out. But also as a woman, you might want your own personalized attention. And for couples, I love working with couples. So right now I'm enrolling for my 1-to-1 in my women's program. And in both, so much of the end result is because you get steeped into greater authentic expression. You might not even realize where you're not being authentic because you're following too many trends, you're listening to what other people are saying. You might be doing a little copycat, which is okay. But for those next level results, it's you tapping into your, not only your truth, but like what is your juju? Like what makes you like a unicorn that you are? Like I know I have my unicorn ways because of all the differences. Like, I'm a medical doctor that's also a star being, that also does energy work and comes from a shamanic lineage, and also loves being in the 3D. Like, I still love fashion, and I love to swim in the sea, and I'm like a mermaid, and I'm like a dolphin. You know, but I also love to go to Michelin star restaurants. I'm both 3D and 5D. And I believe in radical wealth for all of us. And I believe in massive accelerated ascension to get there. And so I'm excited for the money talk tomorrow as well, because I have some different views on it and how it's so important for our spiritual path, the money conversation. But what's even more important, like, it's almost like a precursor for you to make that wild money, that wild wealth, is you being you. So do an inventory. Like, where are you not being your authentic truth, your authentic self? Where are you showing up? And usually you can catch when you're doing it, because it's like you feel either less energized, less motivated, a bit awkward. And you might even find that you feel that way when you're around people who are not being authentic. And that's okay, no judgment, but it's like, it doesn't feel quite right. So get into alignment. That's what's being asked in that moment. And then I want you to tap into, where would you like to express more of the true you? And so sometimes you might find that you don't share an aspect of yourself. So for example, it took me some time to share more of my star being aspect. It took me time at one point, I remember, to share more of the energy stuff. And even still, like I told you, I can see, it's why like everything I share is for me too. Like, I'm on the journey with you. I'm the messenger, but I'm also taking the Kool-Aid, you know, and it's not the Kool-Aid really. It's like the medicine, you know, it's the medicine. We're taking the medicine because that's what we came here for, to incarnate fully into this body, clear out the distortions, express the frequency, the divine frequency that we came to live, because it's here to activate others. You are bringing special codes and gifts that only you have. So for your greatest success in love, life, and business, you must bring your codes forward. You must bring your unique blueprint fully online to share with the world. And anything that's blocking you, clouding you, standing in your way, cancel, clear. And that's a lot of the work we do inside the women's program, inside the one-to-one work. So often I'm redirecting clients when they're like, well, I should do this. I should go in to do breath work at corporate because, you know, I was in corporate. I was a stockbroker in the past. It makes sense. Yeah, but is that your highest excitement? No, I don't even like the city. Right, so that's not it. What is your highest excitement? And that's part of, too, what clues you in. It's like, what's your highest excitement? What lights you up? Usually when you talk about your truth, you feel on fire. And if you're still a bit shy, there could just be some witch wounds. There could be some past life stuff we have to clear. We might need to activate the throat. Hence, expression, 5th chakra. And there's all different ways to do this. And we go through many of the different ways inside the one-to-one work and my women's program. Hello. And so it's so nice to see you all here. If you've caught the replay, you can comment on this video and I will still answer your questions. And if you do it in time before the next live, then I can answer them there. Check out my stories, message me, let's chat. I would love to have you in the women's program. I would love to have you inside for one-to-one work. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Big kiss. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.